am the founder and CEO. And if no one told you today, you are special, strong, and you did nothing wrong. And remember, healing is revolutionary. So I'm going to wait for a few people to get in. I want to make sure, first and foremost, they actually can hear me. Let's do all messages. That should work. Always, as I say, the rules are, positivity. My page is a safe haven, and any negative comments will be deleted and reported. The amount of energy it takes to say something negative, you can choose to say something positive or choose not to say anything at all. So if you don't want to be here, move on. All right. And if you do, stay and interact and hit that like. All right. So we're going to wait a little bit for some people to join. Hello. How are you? Can you hear me? I have my Bluetooth headphones on, so I'm not sure if y'all can hear me. Can you hear me? I won't bite. Can you hear me? Stevie, hello. Y'all, I'm gonna give a shout out to my bestie. She's my sister, y'all. I love her so much. Um, she um uh she has been um outside of my husband, myself, my emotional support cat, of course. She has been just a pillar to me in my healing and just encouraging me to give an offering to each and every one of y'all. So I just want to thank y'all and just shout her out too. So I want to talk about A.N.T.S, which is an acronym I learned about last night when I was at work, um, listening to a therapist in one of her sessions with a family. I'm not going to go in detail about that family. I'm just going to talk about what I learned about ANTS. Um, and it's an acronym. It's automatic negative thoughts and self-talk. And I have to, hi everyone, hit that like and stay. We're talking about talking about ANTS, the acronym, automatic negative thoughts and self-talk, and how being intentional with yourself is necessary for growth, necessary for healing, and necessary for you to build optimal, healthy relationships with the people that are in your life. And if you love them, they deserve the best version of you. And the best version of you is waiting for you. You just have to be intentional. So, what do I mean by being intentional? With ANTS, automatic negative thoughts and self talk. Pause, for example, stop yourself when you realize you're saying something, when you're saying something negative about yourself or someone else. As I stated in the beginning of the video, the amount of energy it takes to say something negative, you can choose to say something positive or choose to not say anything at all. And hello, and I'm learning that not every truth needs to be spoken. I'm also learning that sometimes, I hate to say it like this, I got to put a muzzle on my own mouth. And, I'm also working on my facial expressions, speaking the words that I'm choosing not to say as well. How am I doing? I'm doing well. I'm blessed. I'm talking about the acronym ANTS, automatic negative thoughts and self-talk, and how being intentional with yourself is necessary for optimal healing and growth. Now, let me give you an example. Um, I had, okay, let's just say, for example, and this is not every truth that needs to be spoken. Hit those likes, y'all. I had a friend that called herself fat on a regular basis. She would take a picture and she'd be like, "Oh, I'm so fat." Or she'll be like, "Oh, I'm just so fat. I can't wear that." Or "I wish I could wear this." And she just everything was centered around her weight as to why she couldn't do something. And finally, I said to her, and I don't know if I was rude, but it was necessary. I feel it was necessary. I said, "You constantly call yourself fat. If you are not happy with where your body is, do the necessary work to get your body to where you feel it should be and the way that you want it to look." Um, and because calling yourself fat on a regular basis is actually uncomfortable for me because I think you're very beautiful. And when you call yourself fat, you are giving other people, hi Simon, you are giving other people permission to call you fat. You're giving other people permission to disrespect you. You're giving people permission to talk to you the way you talk to yourself. And if you don't like how other people start addressing you when you say that you're fat, then you need to stop. And she told me that she would rather have me um, tell her a lie than tell her the truth about herself. And she stopped being friends with me. And I said to her, I'm like, I'm not gonna lie. Well, first of all, you should know me. When you say negative things about yourself, even if they're automatic negative thoughts and self talk, what you don't realize is you are giving other people permission to also project that same negative self talk that you say to yourself, that they will say to you. For example, her saying that she was fat, then her cousin would be like gordita, which means a cute little way in Spanish to say little fat girl or little chubby girl. And that would hurt her feelings. And I said, "Well, you keep calling yourself fat. Your little cousin is going to literally start, uh, you know, saying the same thing you say about yourself." I believe that when you stop yourself from doing that, you then realize, hey, why am I so hard on myself? And then you build from there on how you can start um, building on your self esteem. You're also giving people permission by overeating and not exhorting self control. Well, can you elucidate on that, Farah? You're also giving people permission by overeating. Well, I disagree with that. I disagree with that. Um, I disagree with that. I don't believe anyone has permission to disrespect another human being. I don't believe any person, I don't have permission to disrespect anyone. Um, Even if someone is disrespecting themselves, it is your job, Farah, to be an optimal human being and say to yourself, let me encourage this person to be better and do better. And if you're not the person to encourage them, introduce them to individuals who will, but you don't have permission, Farah, to disrespect someone because they're disrespecting themselves. You have to do better too. I do not care if I see someone uh, twerking in front of a group of men. They don't have any panties on, and they have on a provocative outfit. I'm not going to call them a hoe. I'm not going to call them a slut. I'm not going to call them promiscuous. And I don't believe that anyone in that room, for example, should incoming call. No, I'm not going to disrespect them. What needs to happen is that individuals in that room should stop the behavior and introduce her to women who do not display behavior of that kind, of that nature. It is our job as human beings to give others sympathy. Even if you lack empathy, you can provide sympathy unless you're a sociopath or a psychopath. All right. So I would have to respectfully disagree with you, Farah, with you have permission to disrespect an individual by overeating, um, because they are not exhorting self control. Some people's body frames are completely different than some other groups, right? So, again, it's imperative that we understand this basic rule of treat others the way you want to be treated. Speak love and speak light, but you can also be real when you speak love and light into people, right? If I see a young man with his pants sagging, first, I think it would be interesting to converse with him about why his pants are sagging and if he intellectually understands what that means, uh, the history behind sagging, and then introduce him to men, young men, or males his age who aren't displaying behavior that would be considered disrespectful or harmful, right? You don't add to someone else's pain or add to someone's ignorance because, in your mind, because they are, you project it and add more to it. You don't have permission to do so, right? So so that brings up my next topic, actively participating in your thinking. When you actively participate in your own thinking and you actively participate, um, and first recognizing that you all right, let's pause. Do you have any questions so far? Any questions so far? Okay. Okay, so actively participate in your thinking. Actively participate. Active, active. It is continual. It is constant. It is draining. It is annoying. And then it becomes incredibly beautiful when you realize how far you've come. As I've stated in the beginning of the video, the amount of energy it takes to say something negative about yourself or someone else, you can choose not to say anything at all, or you can choose to say something positive, right? I'm not going to. Tell someone who may struggle with math, particularly because of how it's taught, or maybe because of the way their brain is wired, they're not understanding. I'm not going to call them stupid, even if they say, "Oh, I'm so stupid, I'm so dumb." I'm not going to do that. One, I don't have permission to. Two, what is that going to do besides hurt the person and feed into their pain? And then and then you're responsible for that, right? We got to do better. So when you actively participate in your thinking, you are actively participating in becoming optimal. And what I mean by optimal is a better person. And when you are better, when you are centered, when you are aligned, and when you are fighting every day to heal and to do better, when you know better and be better, then the people around you will reflect that. Even if some people fall off or fall behind, you have every right to be the best that you can be. This is not the military, but sometimes I feel like healing is. It is a process. It is sucky some days. It is hard some days. It is scary some days, but it is rewarding when you actually pause and you are still and you realize that you are becoming or have become the individual that you have always needed in your life. Now, again, I'm going to go back to ants. Automatic negative thoughts and self talk. Remember who you are before others convinced you of what you are. In this society, in this world, we have boxes, we have labels, we have separatism, we have ideologies that cause harm to others, that project ignorance and stereotypes, right? So, what these boxes do is it says us versus them, um, they, those, them over there, me, I. But what's necessary is understanding that creating boxes for yourself and others are not boundaries. They are not boundaries. They are excuses to dehumanize a individual's uh, life experiences, lived experiences, um, cultures, um, uh, perspectives. Okay, so let me give you an example of an interesting box. Um, I have a supervisor who's from Ukraine, and I was like, oh, there's a famous soup that you have in Ukraine called borscht. And of course, I didn't say it correctly. And she looked over at me and she said, yeah, I said it's a red soup. And I said, I would love to try it. And she wasn't surprised that I would know that. She was appreciative that I knew that about her culture. But there's been times in my life where even I have created boxes for other people. I have had the expectation that, oh, if you're Latino, Chicano, Hispanic, that means you automatically speak Spanish. No. Uh, or if you're Puerto Rican, you like Mexican food, right? No. We all do it. No one is exempt from doing it. We all have boxes and ideas of the other in some ways to um, pause our growth and stop us from being, again, optimal humans. What if we did take ownership in removing the boxes but having boundaries? Ownership and with protecting our boundaries as well. As I stated, no one has permission to disrespect me, and I don't have permission to disrespect anyone else. I've been corrected. I've been corrected um, as outspoken and direct as I am. I've been corrected. I am not perfect. No one is perfect. Anyone who says that they are perfect, hey, hit the like, y'all, that they are perfect or that they are striving for perfection, encourage them to seek therapy. And I hope that that does not come across as me projecting a box, but there is no such thing as perfection. So if an individual is thriving for something that is non existent, what they are doing is covering up what is actually hurting and causing them to be perfect, right? Because when you start peeling back the layers, you'll realize that there's some trauma there. I'll give you an example. Before I was diagnosed with PTSD, I was on the go, 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 go. Hey, I'm gonna do my bachelor's degree, and after my bachelor's degree, I'm gonna go to the Peace Corps, and after the Peace Corps, I'm going to do grad school in Spain, and after grad school in Spain, then I'm going to do this and then going to do that. And I had to have an advisor literally tell me, like, Denisha, have you ever just sat down and paused and just appreciated the fact that you are a first generational college student? No, I didn't. I was running from the trauma, so I didn't have to deal with it. One, and in some ways, people didn't recognize when I was hurting because the outside looked so perfect. All right. Now, taking ownership with protecting and in protecting your boundaries, I think is really, really important to understand. With boundaries, you are responsible for your body, you are responsible for your home life, and you are responsible for a craft. The craft can be a job you have that you love, it can be your mandate, it can be a mission that God has given you, your ancestors have given you. That triangle is here's how I how I put it. I'm left-handed. I hope you can see. See, apex will be craft, body, well, body and home, right? But I think body should be apex and the other two should be here. But you understand what I'm saying. You are in control of your body. You are in control of your home life. You are, and I'm only speaking to adults. I can't speak for children. Um, you are in charge of a craft and mastering that craft. And I want y'all to know that those are where your boundaries should be. You cannot, and you are not in control of other people's lives and their boundaries. Your boundaries should focus on your triangle. All right. I always ask my friends for permission to hug them, not because they don't want to hug me, but simply to prepare them that I want a hug and I need a hug and I want to hug you. And they have every right to say no. They have every right to say yes. As their friend of someone who loves and cares about them, it is um, my responsibility to honor that boundary, but I'm still in control of the boundary that um, uh, I'm still in control of how I respond to either their yes or their no, right? So, any questions today about ants? I didn't want to stay too long. I just wanted to ask, is there any questions about ants, automatic, negative thoughts and self-talk? Any questions about boundaries? All right, y'all. All right. So, again, my name is Denisha. I am the founder and CEO of Water to Spirit. Healing is revolutionary. And if no one told you today, you are special, you are strong, and you did nothing wrong. And I am very proud of you. And you keep working through your been through and give yourself grace and mercy. And no one has permission to disrespect you, and you don't have permission to disrespect anyone else. And no one needs permission to do the healing work and walk away from any situation whole. All right. Have a good day.